Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm getting a little bit early of a start here. I don't know what your time says. Mine says 11:57 or something like that. So, what the heck? Let's get this show on the road. Lots to talk about today. Lots going on as usual. Today is the city council meeting talking about the capital budget, and I hope all the city councilors have had time to go through it and have some good recommendations. We'll talk about some that were actually added to the agenda either yesterday after the show or today. We'll talk about those notions, amendments, they call them. And then we're going to get into a little bit of everything, really. I looked across the street. The excavator's gone. They had a big excavator there yesterday in the meteor crater. And I thought, here we go. But no, I think it was just brought in to lay some dirt out so the counselors can put their shovels in the ground and do a sod turning ceremony or whatever the heck it's called. That's what it looks like to me happened. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. First of all, I'm Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you from the studios of 4680Q.com on the radio, internet radio. You can listen to it live at noon every day for those of you who are watching the video who don't even know it exists, maybe. But if you do, you can listen to it live on the radio, on the internet radio at noon, or you can tune in later on when I drop my video around 3 o'clock. It's usually up, and you can watch me live sitting here performing, if that's what they call it. So the weather, balmy 46 degrees when I get up at 4:30 this morning. Barometer sitting at an even 29.30 and the humidity sitting at 61%. They're calling for rain. Now we're in for some 50-degree weather coming up, but rain's moving in, and so are more seasonable temperatures for this Thanksgiving Black Friday week. That's right. Our friends in the United States are celebrating Thanksgiving, and the day after Thanksgiving, Thursday, is Black Friday. It doesn't look like there's going to be any snow, although I've seen all kinds of reports that we're going to get an inch or so. I don't know. It's out there. It's out there. It's looming. You know it's looming. It's that time of year, so anything can happen at any time. Now, if for some reason you would love to message me, text message me, I've got this little puppy sitting right here. You can text message me at 289-994-7560. It'll pop up here, and I'll read your text message, whatever you have to say. That's how simple it is. Yep, 289-994-7560. But before we get into the show, before we get into that, I have to talk about my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. Yes, we know the weather's coming. We know we're going to get rain. It's inevitable. We're not going to sidestep it. We never have since I was a kid many, many years ago. And we never will, although granted, the winters are getting a little bit less severe than they used to be. But that gives you a chance to get your car in and get it checked out at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Let Ken Hunter throw your car onto his diagnostic equipment and make sure it's running tip-top. Why get stuck in miserable weather when you can be a little bit proactive and let Ken take care of your problems before they become big problems? Your defrosters, your coolant system, you don't want to make sure you got antifreeze in there. You don't want your engine to freeze up. Dave Wheeler said yesterday, your battery, don't forget your battery. Yeah, they go coldest day of the year is when that thing's going to conk out on you. That's Murphy's Law. That's why you got to get into Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Get your car checked out. Make sure it's ready for winter. Don't fool around. Don't be a Mama Luke. Get it done. And they have a full body shop. If you get in a wreck, he's going to take your car in, fix it, and give it back to you in showroom condition. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. And you can go see everything he has to offer at wildbillsauto.ca. And while you're there, jump over to YouTube. and go to Paul Lemire 4793. That is my page there. That's my page. That's my channel. Or you can go to Your City, Your Voice and like it. Subscribe to it. It costs you nothing. Subscribe. Get involved. We have an election coming up. We got a big thing going on at the Meteor Crater over here. There's lots going on in this city. You should know before you vote next year. Get involved. It's a party. Come on and join the party and know at least what the heck's going on. That's my job, to let you know. You don't have to agree with me all the time. You might think I'm a whack job, but the bottom line is at least you're thinking something. And that's what the whole point of this whole show is, to make you think and to tune you into what's going on, no matter where it is in the world. I talk about everything. But today is going to be mostly Niagara Falls stuff. Yeah, we're finishing off. Today at 4 o'clock is the capital budget meeting. This is where our city council decides whether they're going to pick our pockets or actually try to make the cost of living affordable for us. They're going to come in and see if we can find efficiencies. They're going to find efficiencies in the budget, cut some of the cheese off, and save us some money. Hopefully, we don't know. So they sit down. We don't know. I know last year they didn't make a big effort to save us a dime. We'll see what they did do this year. So that's where we're headed in this show. That's what we're going to talk about. But first, I must say I'm a little disappointed today. Not only do they steal the meteor crater away from the citizens of Niagara Falls, they didn't even invite me to the crater turning ceremony, the sod turning ceremony. And I created the crater. I should have been at that groundbreaking ceremony. They never invited me. Biggest promoter of the crater. I've been promoting it for years. Did all the marketing on my show here. Brought tourists in from all over the world. I see them walking by all the time. They walk by the meteor crater, look at it with their suitcases, shopping carts, and giant recycling bins. Yeah, they came from all over to see it. Some even got up off the ground to walk up and see it. You think I would have got an invite to this thing? Nothing. Nothing. Not an invite. There they stood. I saw them, all the muckety mucks with their golden shovels, digging into imported dirt, because you can't dig into that. It's a giant mess. They had a pile of dirt they brought in. I don't know what that cost them. And if they used the excavator to put it down, that excavator's got to be, I don't even know what it would cost to rent that for a day, but it's gone. I thought they were going to start digging the friggin' hole. Nope. It's gone. So I don't know what happened to that. But it was floated here, so that must have been a pretty penny to bring for a day. It was a giant one. It wasn't one of those little backhoes you see a guy in the front yard doing. This thing was major. It was meant for that job. But there we go, turning the soil turning into the start of a 40% taxpayer investment. That's right. From what I hear, the city owns 40% of this build. So first of all, we own Niagara Peninsula Energy, along with Pelham and I think West Lincoln or something. So not only do we have that, that's Holdco, that owns the Niagara Peninsula Energy, along with those other municipalities. Then we have the Niagara Holding Company, which controls our portion of Holdco, of the Niagara Peninsula Energy. And then we have the Niagara Regional Broadband. We sold the Niagara Regional Broadband, and now we have some kind of real estate holding company, I guess we own. That's you, taxpayers. We are land barons. We're real estate barons now. We own it. Taxpayer dollars. So there you go. Don't know what's going on with it. We're not privy to that yet, but on December the 9th, I think we're going to get a lot more information. But there you go. Our investment, well, I don't know. At the meeting the other night last week, they said that the build was going to be 60 or 70 million. So take 40% of that. I'd say we're in for 25, 30 million. Who knows? Who's going to live on that contaminated land? We don't know. Attainable housing, affordable housing, geared to income housing. But I don't know. I suspect it's going to be students that are going to be attending the University of Niagara Falls, the diploma mill over there, to wangle around immigration laws. That's what they use it for. Say it's going to be a 3-year build. Now, my cousin, the buzzard, who knows nothing about building anything, says they must be building it by hand. That should be up in a year. But I think the buzzard has partaken in too much driveway lettuce myself. He got it out of the crater lettuce. I think 2 years is reasonable. 36 months is what they told me. I don't know. What do I know? I'm not a developer either. So there you have it. Golden shovel, champagne on ice, and the meteor crater. My meteor crater is no more. If you want to get a last glimpse of it, there's an opening on the fence surrounding the building where you can watch the progress. And I can watch it right from here. But please use caution as the builders put the fencing right to the edge of the sidewalk, and you got to walk on the road. Now, whoever came up with that goofy idea, taking the sidewalks away from people around here, or there's old people walking their dogs, there's all kinds of people walking to the Queen Street businesses and stuff. Well, now you got to walk on the road, and this is a narrow road. For example, here's some kind of delivery guy parked there, and now it's down to barely a lane because you have cars parked here too, and he's just beaching it to deliver something. So that's what's going to happen down here. It's going to get goofy, and I'll keep reporting on it for you. I'll keep reporting as the days go by. I'll keep reporting exactly what's going on over here, and the progress of it. It's a 3-year project, apparently. So I'll have 3 years, God willing, I live that long, to completion of this behemoth. And that's that. But I didn't get an invitation to say goodbye to the meteor crater. And I'll never forget that. My poor meteor crater going the way of the dodo, going to be gone. Historic site in Niagara Falls. The meteor crater. How many cities have a meteor crater? We do. Well, not anymore. We had one. Okay, enough of that nonsense. We'll wait and see. So let's get on to the spirit of the capital budget as moved several more councilors to submit their proposed amendments. I see amendments from councilors Van Nieuwesteg, Patel, Strange, and of course, Lori Lococo already submitted hers last week on Friday. So let's take a look at what these councilors are recommending here. Well, Councilor Van Nieuwesteg, only eight is my nickname. She wants to remove $100,000 allocated to repair the Jolly Cut pathway. Instead of spending $100,000 to make it safe for people to use and go down to the parks, a lot of people use it, she suggests installing signage to tell people to use at their own risk that the pathway is unmaintained. I guess that takes liability off the city, but spending $100,000 to make it safe, no, forget about it. She wants to save us that money. Now, the Stafford Columbarian Security and Fire Protection enhancement, $133,000. She doesn't want to ditch the money, though. She wants to add to it. So amendments can either be to take money away from the budget to save taxpayer dollars or spend more. So we have a higher tax bill. Well, she wants to spend more here. She wants to increase the capital budget, looking for more money for more enhancements to the columbarium, which she's, I don't think she owns the funeral home anymore, but she works there. So it's not a conflict of interest. I don't know. But anyway, that's one of her requests, amendments. Parking, redesign, and capacity expansion for the exchange. Now, this was brought up a long time ago by her. I spend more money on the exchange because there's not enough parking, especially now that the defunct market was there. It's no longer a problem since the market left because there wasn't enough parking or enough space. So whoever designed this in the first place screwed up. And we just keep adding more money and more money and more money to this place for what? The thing's a white elephant. We got to rename it the medical exchange, put doctors in there, make money on it. But no, they want to keep throwing money at it, so that's their thing. And um, do some kind of investigation. So she wants to spend more money there to find out the identify ways of increasing parking and improving accessibility. So she wants to increase the capital budget for that. I mean, where's the efficiencies? Willoughby Arena replacement regarding the $4 million allocated for research and planning, design for the new sports facility. She feels that committing $4 million to the project via the capital budget is premature because the scope and design of the new facility has not been clearly defined. She wants to spend money on staff exploring whether part of the provincial grant allocated to the build, $10 million, can be applied towards planning and design, and the city should consider using reserves for planning instead of allocating capital funds. What? This doesn't make sense since the capital budget is already paid for using reserves, OLG money. Everything in the capital budget is paid for from reserve funds and taxpayer dollars from the operating budget, from OLG, from other sources. So how is using money from reserves I mean, this is really weird because after 3 years, it's obvious she doesn't understand how it all works. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it at all. So you think after 3 years she'd understand how all this works, but no, she don't. Saying that take the money out of reserves for planning instead of allocating capital funds. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Yep. Then you wonder why I take pills. Yeah, this is why right here. Okay, let's get to Councillor Patel. If only 8 wasn't enough, triple F is even worse. Maybe. She wants to delay phase 3 of AI implementation to the 2027 budget, and that CRM AI may be implemented only after completion of the city's digital master plan, phase 1 and phase 2. So she wants to defer about $500,000 to $700,000, as far as I can figure out from what she wrote down, and put it on 2027 budget, capital budget. Okay, now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one who totally gets up there all the time and talks about kicking things down the road. This is all she talks about. We're kicking down the road. We got to kick it down the road, kicking it down the road. And then she's going to kick this down the road. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. She's saving $500,000 to $700,000 by kicking it down the road. And the Ellen Avenue and Center Street design deferred $200,000 to 2027. So she's almost at $1 million now. She's deferring, which means we don't have to pay it this year. Okay, if we don't really need it, what the heck? I'm with her. I'm with her on that. Okay, the 2026 roadway design. Do not take the funds from the capital levy, but take it from the OLG reserve fund. I don't know how she figures this is going to save us money. Does she not get that moving money from one pot to another pot to another pot, all it is shuffling money around? Unless you eliminate something, the budget remains the same. She's giving me agita. She's going to remain the same. Unless you get it right the hell out of there. So she doesn't get it either after 3 years, and she wants to be mayor? Hey. Oh, wait. Oh, forget about it. Forget about it. Hickory dickory dock. Okay, Councillor Strange, let's move on to him. That's the only recommendations only 8 and Triple F had. Councillor Strange, the champ, we call him, but he's being called a lot of other things right now. Okay, Councillor Strange is gave us a very simple thing here. It doesn't save us any money on the 78 million. Of course, is there anybody who's going to try to save us any money? I told you, no, nobody's gonna. Take the $4 million being allocated in the capital budget for the Chippewa Arena design build phase 1 and hold it in reserves. Oh, the squirrel is going to love that one. To be released when council provides further direction. 330 pages of expenses. And this is all they define between these three. That's it. No savings for taxpayers, no efficiencies, only taking $4 million and putting it over here in a reserve fund for future use. The squirrel, ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh. Okay, that's it. Oh, Councilor Patel wasn't finished though. Like this should all be in on Friday. Came in yesterday, but at 4:30 while they're digging over here. Parking lot for improvement, part 2. Councilor Triple F, part 2. $250,000 be deferred until rehabilitation of the lot is operationally required or coordinated with future road work on Ellen Avenue. So another $250,000 she wants deferred. Saving it off this year's capital budget, but adding it on to 2027. But here's the problem. Councilor Patel has misinterpreted exactly what's going on here with that money. The request for $250,000 is to be used for investigating improvements to the lot, not to do improvements. Gabish? What they want the money for is to redesign it and maximize parking because there's a lot of traffic islands and light standards and all that in the way. There's 47 parking spaces there generating income for the city and their parking budget. They want to expand that and put more parking spaces, make it more efficient so it can generate more revenue. The $250,000 isn't to do the work. It is to look into it and find out how they're going to redesign it and what they can do with it to maximize revenue from it. And that's one of the most used parking lots in the city. It's big it's right in the heart of the tourist area. It's big. A lot of people use it. So it only makes sense that we would want to maximize the number of parking spaces in there. So I think Mona Patel, Councilor Triple F, has misinterpreted exactly what that is. She saw $250,000 and thought, I'm going to save some money. But and I have no problem with her canceling that, saying defer that. I mean, it's $250,000 we don't have to spend, to be honest with you. Why look at it now if you're not going to do anything? It's nice to maximize revenue, but I mean, are they going to maximize enough revenue to make back the $250,000 they're spending? Or are they going to find out they can only put 4 more parking spaces in that's going to generate $50,000 for the season? So that's the question. So either way, if they get rid of it, good for her. Good suggestion. If they don't, I mean, it's probably worth looking into just to generate more revenue. Okay, so of course, Councilor Lococo submitted her $3.9 million of amendments to the budget on Friday. Dave and I discussed her amendments yesterday, mostly to AI and those systems. But really, the problem is that she doesn't want the money given back to taxpayers, like taking off the $78 million. She just wants it allocated to roads and all that. So the $78 million doesn't come down at all. Not saving us any money. She just wants to take it out of one area and once again put it to another pot. So it's not going to reduce our burden at all. So that's the downside of doing that. It'd be nice if she'd take it down from 78 million to 74.1 million by getting it right out of the budget. Unless you take it right out, then it's still an expense. No matter where you put it, it's still an expense. So my analysis of all this is there's not really much to save taxpayers a lot of money, maybe when I look through it all, maybe a million two or something if they do everything that they want to do. But that's going to be offset by the increases they've asked for as well. Because remember, amendments are to either increase what they're spending on certain projects or decrease it. Decrease means we save money if they take it out of the ledger. An increase means we cost us more if they leave it in the ledger. So we still have to hear from Peter Angelo, Cario, Baldinelli, and Dabrowski. They haven't submitted anything. So I guess we're going to get their take on it tonight. And if last year's performance is any indication of this year's performance, we're not going to see a lot. Let's hope it's the election year and they take it a little bit more seriously and we see some stuff. So that's that. That's that. We got to watch at 4 o'clock and see what's going to happen here and how much money they're going to save us, if any. I just don't have a lot of faith. I found about 5.7 million of savings by saying no to a bunch of projects. Maybe they'll have listened to my show at least and found some savings on their own. Let's hope so. Let's get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And whenever you get a pizza, you want consistency. If you get it from a place once and it's good, you'd like to go back and know it's going to be good. Well, that's the one good thing about pizza, or Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, is that they're consistent. They use the Mancini family recipe for sauce and crust, and they put it on the pizza in the right ratios with cheese to sauce. You get the full flavor out of it. They put fresh toppings on it, cook it just right. How can you miss? And they do it consistently every time. That's why they're my favorite pizza in town, probably. I really like Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Now, they've opened a new location northwest of Niagara Falls. And you can get it out there now, too. Before you had to come all the way to Victoria Avenue. Now you don't. You can go right to Thoroldstone and Kaler. And I talked to the owner. He said they're doing pretty good out there. So congratulations that they're supporting Pete's Pizza. They make a heck of a pizza. But they make good wings, panzerotti. Oh, gosh, they got poutine. They got a full menu. Chicken parm sandwiches, steak sandwich. They got they run the full gamut. You're not going to go hungry if you order from Pete's Pizza. Let me put it that way. 905-374-2222. Order your pizza today. You know you want one. I always want pizza. I love pizza. And you can get yours just by dialing a number. They use Dine. They use Skip. You can go to their website, petespizzavictoria.ca, and you can order off the website. Choose your location you want to order it from. Pick it up or delivery. Doesn't matter. They're going to take care of you. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Support our sponsors because they support the show. And they're just good corporate citizens. Okay, speaking of the meteor crater and planned housing, because that's what that's supposed to be, attainable housing, affordable housing, subsidized housing, whatever you want to call it. The Ford government is intent on passing Bill C-60. No, not C-60, Bill 60, which sets the stage for faster evictions for landlords, which is exactly what's needed right now. I mean, one of the big problems for investors is if I become a landlord, I can't get rid of these people. They cannot pay their rent for a year. They can destroy my place, and they don't have to get out, and they don't have to fix it. I got to take them to small claims court to fix it. There's nothing, and it takes months and months. So this is good. They're going to get rid of these people that are ruining their place really quick. I mean, I read a story that this guy wanted to evict the renter because he hadn't paid in a year the rent. Couldn't get him out. And then finally, when he could get him out, the guy got charged and he was under house arrest. He says, I can't go out to the judge. I said to the judge, I can't go out to look for a new place. I'm under house arrest. And the judge said, well, then we can't throw you out of there. And he gave the guy the okay to stay there until house arrest is finished. Now, he hasn't paid the rent for a year. What's a landlord to do? And this is the kind of nonsense that's going on. And you wonder why these people who own these places go to Airbnb. where they have people in for the weekend, they make $2,000, and then they're out. You got their credit card information. They wreck anything, it goes on the credit card automatically. And if they are really idiots, then they put a bad review and nobody will rent to them anymore. Yeah, that's why. You wonder why they do that. Well, that's why right there. And there's a housing shortage, so this might help. Now, of course, Alejandra Ruiz Vargas of the Association of Community Organization for Reform Now, the Acorn, a screaming bloody murder saying it will result in more homelessness once they enact this, claiming it's going to hit seniors, people with disabilities, single parents, and good tenants who suddenly fall behind on their rent. But the bottom line is this: it limits bad actors from abusing the Landlord Tenant Act, which should make landlords, the one that invest in rental properties, happy. And I don't know. I don't think many landlords are going to throw you out if you miss one rental payment. I mean, if it's a continuous, ongoing thing, they might. But, you know, most of them are probably pretty good, especially if you're a good tenant. It's hard to find good tenants these days. If you're a good tenant, I mean, I think they're going to take care of you. So, I could be wrong. I've never had to rent from somebody, but Housing Minister Roberta Flack, Rob Flack, defended the bill, saying every protection for the tenant is there that was there before, so they're not losing anything. This is about bringing balance, restoring balance, and creating more supply, frankly, to get lower rents in the province. Ford told all the people yelling and screaming to go find a job. But really, at the end of the day, I think that's some pretty good advice. Go find a job. There you go. Personally, I think that they should be deporting all the criminals and illegals in this country. That would open up a lot of housing. These people are living somewhere. Okay, speaking of evictions, get this story. This guy told some reporter that Canada is the easiest touch in the world. We're it. We're the choice of all these hoodwinkers and criminals. You know why? Because we give freeloading international bums the easiest ride. According to one international bum, he's lived on maximum benefits from the Canadian government for 6 straight years without missing a beat. How, you ask? I don't know how, because I've never done that. But believe me, these people know how. They're professionals. As a matter of fact, this guy was having classes to teach people how to do it. Welcome to Canada. So get this. All he does is when his benefits are about to run out and he's not going to get any more, they finally got to the point of cutting him off. He flies home, gets a fake ID for $100, and comes back to Canada and says he's a new refugee. And he says, you just show up, tell them that you don't feel safe, and boom, housing, healthcare, spending money. I don't even change my luggage anymore. I go home, buy a fake ID, and come back. He's probably got Louis Vuitton luggage, too. Canada doesn't care. Just tell them. Yep, you just tell them you don't feel safe in your home country, and bang, you're in. Housing, healthcare, spending money. I don't even change my luggage. No, authorities say the system is secure, even as the man detailed every step of his scam to take Canadian taxpayers for millions. Yeah, he's telling them exactly how he's doing it, and everybody's doing it. And these guys are saying, oh, it's secure. Don't worry about it. System secure. And he's like teaching a master class on how to do this. I'm sure when he goes home, he tells everybody how easy it is, and they all buy $100 IDs or whatever, or use their original ones, and they come back, and then when they need them, they do the same thing he does. They know how to do it. And he says, why would I get a job? The country treats me better than people that actually pay taxes. Boom, 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 boom. Wouldn't you just love to give him one of these? And he says it out openly. He don't care. Nah, doesn't matter. And this captures exactly what we see in Niagara Falls. 5,000 immigrants living off taxpayer dollars, causing trouble and overloading public services. This talks to the chaos at Canadian immigration centers. Well, hardworking Canadians foot the bill. That's right. You foot the bill. I foot the bill. Close to 1.5 million in Canada right now that need to be removed. Where are they? Who knows? Nobody knows. Their visas run out. Their diploma mill universities get them in, but they never go to class. 50,000 of them, 20,000 from India. Nobody knows where they are. They just go and meld into the community. They don't know. Nobody knows who they are or where they are. And Carney doubles down, lets more in. And like Canada, the guy said, Canada is the easiest touch in the world. Want to know why there's a housing crisis? Who can't afford a house when the government's giving you all kinds of money to buy one, to live in one, or rent one? Look to your government. Open borders. You want to know why there's a doctor shortage? Look to your government. Look to the open borders. You want to know why your taxes are going up as infrastructure in the education system is creaking under the weight of overpopulation? Look to your government. Yep. Your hospitals, your public services, everything, schools. Yeah. I mean, we definitely got to start evicting people from the country. Never mind rental units. Evict them from the country. But you're not going to see that coming from Carney liberals. Forget about it. It isn't going to happen. They're doubling down, letting more in. Get your freebie today if you can. Unfortunately, old school Canadians don't qualify. Sorry, you don't qualify. Somebody's got to pay the tab, and that's you. Great story here. I'm laughing my head off. I was laughing my head off at this one. And you have to laugh. From day one, I called the speed cameras cash grabs with no safety value. I've been saying that for since they came. That it was just an excuse to rob people legally. And Premier Big Mouth Billy Bass agreed. Okay, great. Now we see the truth coming out about these. As all these people were talking about safety, oh, it's safety, speeding, kill. Guess what? We see the truth coming out now as headlines scream, very little funds replacing Niagara speed camera. Oh, really? Really? Very little funds is the headline? Wouldn't it be very little safety? Safety at risk? No. No. You think it'd have big headlines. Safety programs endangered. No, it's very little funds replacing Niagara speed cameras because that's what it was all about. All about money. They just use fear-mongering safety programs to cover up what they were really looking for. That's more revenue. Safety was always secondary to money. Never about safety. Capiche? Understand now? The headlines are proving it. So Scott Fraser, Niagara Regional Associate Director of Transportation Planning, said the province has only given them $240,000 for traffic calming measures, as opposed to the $3 million the one-eyed bandits generated. And he is sad, not because the roads are less safe, but because he lost out on $2.76 million that they had to just blow on what they wanted. He misses the 50,000 tickets issued and the money generated from them. The kids, well, there was never a problem with speeding drivers killing kids anyway. But the money. So here's the funny part. They've been using the revenue to buy speed display signs and other safety devices. But hold it. If speed cameras work, why do you need to buy other safety speed calming measures? Why not just forget the cameras and buy the speed calming measures? Because speed calming measures don't generate money. Gabish, you understand what's going on here? Forget about stealing from the poor slob who goes a kilometer an hour over the limit. That has nothing to do with it. Speeding. It's about money. But these fear mongering people aren't going to quit. You know that. The woke are going to be out there screaming and yelling about safety and going on and on. My condolences to the Blade Runners. You served us well, my friends. Your job is done. Onward to other taxpayer ripoffs plaguing this region. But Blade Runners, don't put away those chop saws yet. Your job might not be over. Your job might not be over. There may be a need for the Blade Runners in the final chapter of this speed camera saga, because you never know what the next government is going to do. Stay tuned. But for now, proof is in the pudding. It was all about money, nothing about safety. Ooh, big argument in Niagara Lake. And everybody's been yelling and screaming about it. He asked for $1 million of development charges to be waived, and they were waived. He wanted to put in underground parking and not be charged development charges for it. Now, there's a lot of people on both sides of this issue. This is a big issue, believe it or not. Big issue. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with that. I'm not sure what's going on. So we'll see what happens. And I heard, how about that? Interesting. So we'll see what happens with that. There's two sides to it. Some people say, listen, that's $1 million of taxpayer money that we would have got in. And the other people are saying, well, there should be development charges in the first place. We want to encourage businesses to build, hire people, pay taxes on the land. And they already pay enough development charges. Underground parking doesn't change anything. It's underground. It costs more to develop. They need parking. Why charge them development fees on it? So there's two schools of thought. Me personally, my stand on it. Oh man, I mean we're in tight. All taxpayers are in tight. $1 million is a lot of money. It represents like just over 1% of a decrease in our taxes if we get that $1 million into the revenue. I mean, yeah, the region's broke. I mean, they got no money. We need a plant built out in Niagara South for water, wastewater, and wastewater. There's a lot of things we need. The region has no money. So for them to waive $1 million, boy, if it was times were good, I'd say no problem. Let's get this guy developing, paying taxes. Let's get him going. A beautiful new build. Now it's a little bit tougher. It's a little bit tougher. It's a lot of money. What do you think? Leave comments. I know my buddy Chris Regas, I think he's the one who said should be no development charges. And I know a lot of people are saying there should be no development charges on this. We want to encourage people to build. And other people are saying we're broke. We need this money. We can't let these developers off the hook. They're going to make millions of dollars from these builds. They're making all kinds of money. $1 million to them is not a lot of money when it comes to a huge build worth a couple hundred million. Citizens, taxpayers can use it a lot more than the builders. So we'll see where it goes at the end of the day. I think they were going to waive them. I'm not sure. Now, in Niagara Falls, the city doesn't charge development charges on underground parking. And some other municipalities don't as well. Niagara on the Lake does, and the region does. So I don't know. That's a contentious one. I don't know what to say. I think taxpayers need the money, to be honest with you. I think the region needs the money. They're broke. I mean, the development charges are the cost of doing business. You're going to have $100 million development. There are development charges. They know they're there, but they're already paying. I think I saw 5.4 million of development charges for the build they're going to do. So, yeah, tough one. Let us know. Let us know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. To charge or not to charge? That is the question. Okay, you love your car. You love your car. Everybody loves their car. Well, the new top 10 list for stolen vehicles is out. And if you own one of these beauties, you're probably paying a premium on your insurance because it made the top 10 list of cars that are stolen. And here we go. RAV4 from Toyota, Ram 1500 series, and this is in order from 1 to 10. Honda CR-V, Ford 150 series, Honda Civic, Jeep Wrangler, Chevy Silverado. Quite the list here. Toyota Highlander, Toyota Tundra, Lexus RX series, and that's it. That's your 10th one, Lexus RX. If you have any of those cars, you're probably paying a premium on your insurance because they do get stolen more than others. Protect your key fobs. Put them in a Faraday pouch so people can't steal the signal. And the one good thing about me is I don't have to worry with my 2012 Journey. Nope, nobody's stealing a 2012 Journey. That didn't even make the 1,000 list. I don't have to worry about it. I could probably leave it open. Who's going to take it? Not worth anything. Okay, if you got one of those cars, be careful. They're stealing them. So, Canada Post workers have reached a tentative agreement to go back to work. Well, how about that? I don't know what the agreement is. I don't know what work they're going to go back to if there's any left. After 2 years of negotiating, they have reached an agreement that covers both postal bargaining units. I don't know what both units are, inside and outside. I don't know. Of course, it still has to be voted on by members. And if members turn it down, well, they're back to whatever it is they're doing now. I think they're doing rotating strikes or something now. But either way, does anybody really miss them? I mean, I hate to be brutally honest, but does anybody miss their postman? I don't know. Maybe lonely housewives, but I don't know who else. No details of the agreement have been released, probably because the CPC, the Canada Post Corporation, is now insolvent. They're broke as broke can be, and bleeding red ink by the millions every day. Taxpayer millions. That's what they're bleeding. Taxpayer millions. We're the ones who pick up the tab. Small business depend on the post office to deliver their flyers. And heading into the Christmas season, this is a very big part of marketing. But once that ends, the mail to be delivered will trickle down to KFC and Wendy's. Yeah, just after the Christmas season's over, that's about the end of it. Holy God, this guy's really doubling up here. He's got two big bright orange coats on. He's getting ready. They look like the casino coats, one I got at home. Contract or no contract, the way we experienced postal service in the past, door-to-door delivery, and that's over. I mean, let's face it, it's over. It's done with. It's the reality of it. And even if they have a contract, eventually they're gone. They're doomed to follow the path of the bread man, the milk man, the ice man, and the coal man. They don't deliver anymore. And you'll see the postman on that list within the next 2 or 3 years. I don't think they're going to last too long. It's just unaffordable. We just can't afford to have them. Super mailboxes will take over that kind of thing. And that'll be it. Hey, let's go to Who are we going to next here? Well, let's go to my sponsor, my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And we talk about this all the time. Dave Wheeler is a great proponent of machine shops. His father owned one. And at the end of the day, every business, every industry looks for a good machine shop because when they break down and their machines are down, it costs them money. They don't like downtime. Time is money, and production time is more money. Not only you have to pay the guy running the machine to sit there and wait for it to be repaired, yet the machine's up, down, not producing. So they need places like Hamel Machine Company, been around since 1948, helping small industry, large industry, the regional government, city. They do all the work for these guys. And homeowners like me and you. They also help us with the problems we have around their house, fabricating, designing gates, fixing your metal that's been broken, re-engineering, retooling, machining, milling. They do it all there. But the good thing about Hamel is they have the qualified staff. They have the technicians that can actually reverse engineer parts if they can't fix them, and they also can make them better. They look for ways to design them when they're refabricating them to make them better, and they use 3D printers to do that. They use water jet cutters to do that. They have all the latest technical equipment to help any industry, and they've made a lot of industries more productive by re-engineering their machines that are broken. They made them better. That's the kind of people they have working for them, the qualified, skilled staff. They've done it for the wine industry. They've done it for the food industry. They've done it for the agricultural product industries to the extent that now they're shipping parts, they're shipping these innovations all over the world. Yeah, right here in our backyard over here on Bridge Street, Hamel Machine Company. You can't go wrong. Go to their website, hamelmachine.ca. See all the great work they've done for industry and see all their innovations. If you have to use them, tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Support our local small businesses and large businesses for that matter. They deserve it in the city. They deserve it. Okay, let's see. Do we have any more Canada stuff, or are we going to get into some USA stuff? Oh, we got some Canada stuff here. Let's talk about that. Let's stay in Canada. Speaking of nitwits, oh, we also like to speak. We always like to speak of nitwits. Chili con carnage. It's now making deals with every cutthroat country in the world. It basically says he doesn't need Trump or the U.S. Okay. Talks will resume when appropriate, he says. So they're talking about trying to make deals, trade deals. Now, well, you know what? He don't even care anymore. He says, hey, talks will resume when they're appropriate. He's been busy, flying all over the world, breaking every climate change record he can find, and making bad deals with every loser country in the world. Well, they never keep their word because they just use Canada. They always have. I'm not sure if Carnage knows this or not. The United States, Mexico, Canada agreement is up for review in July. It's only 6 months away. At which time the U.S. could come down hard on Mexico and Canada. But Chile can Carnage. He's more interested in Abu Dhabi than the USMCA. He's making deals with India, UAE, United Arab Empire, Emirate, or whatever the heck it's called, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, forming an economic partnership with Muslims, touring with Sultan Al Jaber, and touring a palatial mosque in Mississauga. Oh, I made a mistake. No, Abu Dhabi. But there is one in Mississauga. I'm surprised he's not there. He's also meeting with officials from wealth funds and investment companies in Abu Dhabi, including Mubadala, MGX, ADQ, ADIC. Everyone from everywhere in the Muslim community, but nothing from the next door neighbor. Right over here, I can see the border. Right from here, I see a building from it. Do you find that concerning? Maybe you should. UAE is facing growing criticism over widespread allegations it is supporting militia in the Sudan civil war that is undertaking shocking ethnic violations. That's who he's teaming up with. Canada's screwed. Let's face it. Come on. Let's face the facts. Now, let's go over to JD Vance because what he said was something else. JD Vance, Vice President of the United States, says he gives the left-wing, liberal-led Canadians a swift kick in the cojones. And I quote what he said, with all due respect to Canadian friends, whose politics focus obsessively on the United States, your stagnating living standards have nothing to do with Donald Trump or whatever bogeyman the CBC tells you to blame. The fault lies with your leadership elected by you. Bam! Right in the stones. You can take that to the bank, you elbows up TDS infected socialists. That's what I said, not him. He also said about Canada, while I'm sure the causes are complicated, no nation has leaned more into diversity is our strength. We don't need a melting pot, we have a salad bowl. He calls that immigration insanity. It's the highest foreign-born share of the population in the entire G7, and its living standards have stagnated. He's talking about Canada there, folks. He couldn't be more right as far as I'm concerned. Let the third world in, become the third world. We know that, and we're seeing it happen before our eyes. With the left-wing socialists complicit in the destruction of a once prosperous nation, what are you going to do? It's right there. He's right. Oh, and there's another heads up to Canada, without mentioning who they are, talking about, and this is an SOS from Marco Rubio. We don't know who they're talking about. They never said who they're talking about, but we can imagine. U.S. officials will not scrutinize policies in Western nations that give leniency to migrant crime and human rights abuses, or that creates two-tiered systems that prioritize migrants in the expense of their own citizens. And we do that all the time. There was just a story where a Sikh had a loaded handgun, an illegal loaded handgun with him in the car, and he got off on the charge. They let him off. So that quote from Rubio was directly aimed at Canada. I mean, who else does this to their own citizens? We see it happening every day in Canada. Rubio also has ordered every U.S. embassy to lean hard on Western governments that are enabling mass migration and threatening the West. Get it, Canada? You are a threat. You're the ones that are threatening all of the Western Hemisphere. Boy, Canada's going down hard. And the people and leaders are too dumbed down to understand what is happening to us. I mean, either that or they don't care. Take your pick, either way. In the meantime, Carney Liberal Immigration Minister Lena Diab has ordered the mandatory medical examinations for refugees coming to Canada to be discontinued effective immediately. That's right, no medical checks. What does this mean? Well, all these mooks that come into Canada that may be sent packing with their infirmities from their home countries, well, they're going to get in now, and number one, they're going to visit the first medical center they can find, which is paid for by us. And number two, if they got anything, we're going to get it. That's why Canada's measly right now. It's insanity. Part of Carney's bid to totally destroy Canada. The annexation of Canada cannot come soon enough by the U.S. Please. Please. It's ridiculous. That's what's happening. That's what's happening here. I'm starting to get excited. 3 hours to the meeting, the capital budget meeting. We're almost at one. What a bunch of whack jobs we have running this country. Now, Trump has had enough with these invaders in his country. He's taken steps. He's going to end temporary protected status for refugees, and that includes Somalians like Imar Oman, whatever her name is, calling Minnesota a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity with Somalian gangs terrorizing the people of Minnesota with billions of dollars missing. They've been playing the system in Minnesota for billions of dollars. The temporary status of these refugees was never meant to be a pass to stay full time. And it was never meant to be a backdoor for never having to leave the country. Now that is over, and they could be all going back. Something Canada should probably do as well. We need to get rid of these people. Now, Oman is in the country due to immigration fraud. She gained power representing these immigrant Somalians, not Americans. She represents not one American. Governor Walz of Minnesota not only let this happen, but he could be involved in the fraud, along with the Somali gangs that have taken over some cities in Minnesota. The Al-Shabaab terrorist group has received fraudulent funds from Minnesota via welfare fraud, and that money has been sent to Al-Shabaab in Somalia through informal money transfer networks. And we're talking billions of dollars here. The FBI maintains the most wanted terrorist list that includes U.S. citizen Jihad Shirwan Mustafa, who is believed to be the highest ranking American fighting with Al-Shabaab. It holds a leadership position in the group's media and explosive operations. Guy allegedly has 3 wives in Somalia and an estimated 16 children. There's a $10 million bounty on his head. Whereabouts? Unknown, but they're tracking him down. They're looking for him, so they're going to get rid of all these people. And, these Somalian gangs, they're Muslims. They've taken over cities, Dearborn, Hamtramck, other cities in Minnesota, and they've declared Sharia law. And believe me, they run everything. They run the cities. Obama sent 20,000 of them to one city and they took it over. That's the way it works. They're all complicit and they're all going down. And of course, one last thing about Venezuela. I was tracking a B-52 Flying Fortress being escorted by 2 F-18 Super Hornets yesterday, flying off the coast of Venezuela. They're down there. CIA is supposed to be in there. Maduro's time ran out yesterday, and they're going to take him out. It looks like they're going to take him out. They're already doing exploratory visits to the coast just to see what kind of air defenses they have. And they're either going to capture him and kill him, or he's going to leave voluntarily, and then Machado, the one who had the election stolen from her, will probably take over. $50 million bounty on his head, $15 million on some of his henchmen, and the U.S. is wiping out the drug cartel slowly but surely. Yesterday, they took out a giant floating laboratory, a huge ship with all the drug-making equipment. It's been rumored to be floating around the Caribbean for years undercover of being a regular freighter. Well, that's no more. These cartel boats are slowly being retired the hard way. And that's a good thing. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Today's the day. He could go in today, tomorrow, the next day, we don't know. Trump's ready to go. He's given the order as of yesterday. It's only a matter of time before they go in and take out Maduro if he don't step down or exile himself or get the hell out of there. Anyway, that's it for me today. I'm going to get home. I'm going to download this video and put it on YouTube. Then I'm going to go and turn on the TV at 4 and see when this meeting is going to start. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a great meeting. We'll see if city council members step up and try to save taxpayer dollars, or it's the same old. The last 3 years, we've had 5%, 7.9%, 5%. So 17, 18% compounded, probably around 19.5% for 3 years, or 25 for 4 years. Are they going to do us any favors this year? I don't know. But there's an election coming up next year, and I'm sure we're not going to forget all of these people. And I've got their rap sheets. I've got them with me all the time. One day we're going to go through them, and I'll tell you exactly who said what and what they promised. It's there. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live on 4680Q Radio at noon every day. And you can see the YouTube video later on. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and now at Kayla Road in Thoroldstone, and Hamill Machine Company. God bless you all. Promises made, promises kept. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be for Habsolutely, talking about the Habs, but Thursday I'll be back with some interesting facts about the meeting, what they did, what happened, talking about some who knows what. Who knows what. We'll see what happens later on today and into tonight. It should be a long meeting. They've got lots to discuss. If it isn't, then you know it was just a rubber stamp budget once again. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you later. Ciao, ciao for now.